You are standing at the front of the briefing room when you declare the Sonora Route off limits, and 8 of your own people write it down. New intelligence suggests a rival operation is using it as bait. You will brief the specifics when the picture is clearer. Your team writes it down. Ethan is at the end of the table with his personal notebook open, and he writes it there before he writes it anywhere official, the way he always does. You watch him do it. He always writes in the notebook first. You have always found this useful. The Sonora Route moves 40% of the Soto network's monthly supply. You just protected it using your own authority in front of your own team, and not one person in this room felt anything except the ordinary weight of a commander making a careful call. After the briefing, you return to your office. You make one call on your personal phone, 30 seconds. The Sonora Route stays open. You hang up and get back to work. Tonight at home, you will update the operations log. You do it every Sunday. You have done it every Sunday for 6 years. The log lives in a fireproof safe bolted to the floor of your bedroom closet. The combination changes every 6 months. The only person who has ever known it is you. You have been making entries for 6 years. The log is the most complete record of your operation in existence. You built it because a man who understands power keeps records. Records are leverage. Records are the difference between the person who walks out and the person who does not. You have always known which person you intend to be. Ethan brings the weekly intelligence summary to your office and stands across from you while you read it. 18 pages, 4 days of work. The Soto network's current structure mapped with an accuracy that makes other task force directors call you to ask how your team produces at this level. The answer is Ethan. It has always been Ethan. He is the best analyst you have ever worked beside, and he is completely unable to lie. Not morally, mechanically. His voice changes, his hands shift. You noticed it in the first month, and you have been grateful for it ever since, the way you are grateful for any tool that tells you exactly what it is. You read through the summary carefully and make notes in the margins. 3 recommendations. The first will disrupt a Sinaloa distribution point, undercutting the Soto network's Pacific routes. A genuine disruption, real intelligence, the kind that produces headlines and another line in your record. The second will produce a seizure in the valley that your team will spend 3 weeks celebrating. The third will quietly redirect a financial surveillance operation that is 6 weeks from identifying one of your Soto coordinators. You write all 3 in the same handwriting, the same measured tone, the same format you use for everything. Ethan takes the notes. He opens his personal notebook and writes something before he opens his department laptop. You watch him write without asking what it says. You never ask. You already know what kind of man writes things down before he does anything else with them. The same kind of man who cannot lie. The same kind of man who stopped a full team debrief once for 4 minutes because there was a moth trapped between the window and the blind, and he could not move forward knowing something was stuck that he could free. He got it out. Nobody said anything. He sat back down and continued exactly where he had left off. That night you open the safe. You update the operations log. 3rd recommendation, financial surveillance redirected, 6 weeks bought. Everything documented, everything controlled. You close the laptop. You close the safe. You change nothing about how the rest of the evening looks. The FBI analyst set up in the secure conference room, and Haynes sits to your left, the way he always sits. Close enough that you can hear him breathe. Far enough that you cannot read his notes. He has been keeping a private file for 4 years. You know this because you know everything that happens in this building. You have never seen what the notes say. You have never needed to. The lead analyst walks both teams through a financial pattern 11 months in development. Transaction flows, shell company structures, timing correlations between seizure announcements and Soto network capital movements. The pattern suggests someone with operational knowledge is feeding the network's banking structure in real time. The analysis points toward the task force. It is not wrong. You listen to the full presentation without moving. Then you ask 3 questions. The first establishes a methodological uncertainty in the correlation model. The second introduces a retired agent in Miami whose financial history is genuinely irregular. The third offers your personal oversight of the internal review, volunteered before anyone asks, because volunteering first has always been cleaner than being appointed. The lead analyst thanks you. Haynes writes something in his notes. You watch him write the way you watch everything, without appearing to watch at all. That evening, Haynes calls your private line, off the record. His voice is careful. He tells you the financial pattern is real and that he has been tracking it independently for 4 years. He says he has a direction, not a name yet, not a certainty, but a direction the investigation is moving, and he cannot ignore it much longer. He tells you because he trusts you. 15 years, and you have never given him a reason not to. He is warning you because he believes you will want to know. He is asking you because he believes you will help him find the right way forward. You listen. You thank him. You tell him to be careful with something that thin. You hang up. You go to the closet. You open the safe. You open the second laptop, the other one, not the operations log, but the one you have been building for 8 months alongside it. Fabricated SOTO network coordination files. Financial transfers formatted to match the network's real banking structure. Communication logs between a deputy director and a known cartel coordinator. Operational decisions documented in a style that looks nothing like yours. You have been building this laptop the way you build everything, precisely, patiently, with enough detail to survive forensic analysis. Tonight, you add one more entry. You give it Haynes's home address as the location. You give it tonight's date. You close it. You put it back in the safe next to the operations log. 2 laptops. One that proves what you are, one that proves what Haynes is not. You change the combination before you go to sleep. Ethan's geographic model is becoming too accurate. You read it at your desk 3 weeks later and understand it will close around something real if he keeps working. Not around you, not yet, but close enough that the next revision might ask a question you cannot redirect with a pen and a sentence. You do not redirect it. You wait. Over the following 3 weeks, you move carefully. A financial pattern linking Haynes to a SOTO network shell account, routed through an analyst database Ethan monitors every morning. Intercepted communications between Haynes and a known SOTO coordinator. Filed under a case number Ethan is already working, formatted the way the database formats everything, indistinguishable from anything else in the system. Geographic coordinates placing Haynes at the center of the network's protected supply routes in the exact notation Ethan's model uses. You do not tell Ethan what to find. You just make sure the evidence is where Ethan will look. Ethan finds everything himself. He always does. The floor is quiet at 9. Ethan is still at his desk with his personal notebook open, the geographic model spread across his second monitor. You look at his notebook from across the floor and look at your phone and see both things in the same moment. The man who has recorded every case he has ever worked because he cannot be anything other than what he is, and the record sitting in a safe at your home of every decision you have made because you are the only person in this building willing to be what you actually are. One built because integrity requires it, the other built because power requires it. They look the same from across a room. Ethan looks up. He says he thinks he has found something. His voice is completely steady. His hands are completely steady. You tell him to keep working and bring it to you first. He nods and goes back to his screen. You already know what he has found. You put it there. Ethan brings you the complete file 3 weeks later. Everything documented. The financial pattern. The intercepted communications. The geographic model with Haynes at its center. Ethan has been working 18-hour days. His personal notebook has 30 new entries. He presents it the way he presents everything, plainly, without preface, without drama. He says he believes the deputy director has been running the SOTO network's protection operation from inside the department for at least 4 years. He says it quietly, with his hands flat on the desk, looking at you directly because he cannot look away from something true. He says he is sorry. He knows what this means. You tell him the case is strong, but not enough. A deputy director's defense team will call every piece of it circumstantial. You tell him what you need. Physical evidence. Something found in Haynes's possession that connects him directly to the network. Something that cannot be argued away. Ethan nods. He understands. He writes something in his personal notebook. He goes back to work. You go home that night. You open the safe. You take out the second laptop, the one you have been building for 8 months. You hold it for a moment. Then you put it in a bag and carry it to your car. The search warrant is signed the following morning. Your signature, your authorization. You tell your team this one is too sensitive to delegate. You will lead it personally. Nobody questions this. You have the highest conviction rate in the department's history. Your team trusts your instincts completely. The raid on Haynes's house takes 11 minutes. Clean entry, clear rooms, methodical search. You are the one who goes into the home office. You are the one who opens the desk drawer. You are the one who calls out to your team that you have found something. Your agent bags it, your agent logs it. The chain of custody begins with your signature, the same signature on the warrant, the same signature on 6 years of task force records. The laptop goes to the forensic lab. The lab authenticates it. The fabricated files survive every test because you built them to survive every test. The financial transfers match the network's real banking structure because you know the network's real banking structure better than anyone alive. Ethan gets the forensic report 3 days later. He reads it at his desk. He opens his personal notebook. He writes one line. Then he closes it and sits very still for a moment. Then he picks up his phone and calls you. His voice is completely steady. He says, "We have it." 6 months later, you are at your desk when the commendation letter arrives from the Attorney General. The Haynes case, 18 years. The biggest corruption arrest in DEA history. The letter uses words like integrity and relentless, and the kind of institutional courage that makes this country safer. You set it on the corner of your desk without reading past the first paragraph, because you already know what it says. Ethan's name is in 2 law enforcement journals this month. His analysis, his case, his testimony, delivered with a steady voice and steady hands in front of a jury that believed every word because every word was true. He is in Washington now. The Senate cited his work in a hearing last week. Quantico is teaching the case to a new class of analysts. You recommended him for the posting yourself. You told the review board he was the best analyst you had ever worked with. You meant it. In a federal prison 200 miles from here, Haynes is in his 4th month. He knows what happened. He has known since the second day of the trial when he saw the laptop, the formatting, the file structure, the specific notation that matched nothing in his possession, and everything in a system he had never touched. He knows exactly who built it and exactly why, and he has no way to prove any of it, because the most honest man in the building found it and authenticated it and testified to it with steady hands and a voice that never wavered, because he was telling the complete truth as he understood it. The jury was in deliberation for 4 hours. The safe at home has 1 laptop now, the operations log, 6 years of entries, and a new one from last Sunday. The Soto network running cleaner and larger than it has ever run. 3 competitors eliminated. The Sonora Route moving 50% of monthly supply since the rival operation was cleared. Below the last entry, a new name. A new operation already started. Someone else is getting too close. You have already begun building what you will need. You close the safe. You change the combination. You walk downstairs and make coffee and look out the window at a morning that looks like every other morning. The commendation letter is in your office filing cabinet. The evidence laptop is in a federal evidence room tagged as Exhibit A in the case that ended Haynes. The operations log is locked in a safe that only you can open. The system is not broken. You are the system. You have always been the system. The only question that has ever mattered is whether the person sitting in this chair is willing to do what the people below them are pretending they would never do. You have always been willing. That is the only thing that was ever required. If this stayed with you, you already know what to do. Hit like and subscribe. More stories like this one are on the way.